Font color, let's make it black. Just make sure it applies to all of them. For example, let's change the numbers. Let's make this cost of project $40,000. You see that green spot moved. That's the year it turns non-negative. Then all you have to do is, okay, that happens in year 4, so T star is year 3. T star is the year before it turns green. Think about it that way. And it automatically calculates it. Because after year 3, we still have to recover $500, but I get $21,000, so that's 2.4% of year 3. That's pretty much what payback period is. Now, let's think about the criteria on payback period. Does it take all the cash flows into account? Yes or no?
It's only like the previous months. Right?
Yeah. What happens after the payback happens is completely irrelevant. I mean, this last number could be negative 150,000 or 150,000. Payback period is exactly the same. So criteria 1 is not satisfied. Criteria 2, does it take time value of the money into account? No, we're treating all the cash flows the same. Criteria 3, is there any riskiness to be taken into account? No. Does it tell you how much value is added to the firm? No. So even though none of those are satisfied, it's actually pretty commonly used criteria. People want to know how long it's going to take for me to get my money back. That's what payback period is. It's useful quite a bit for short-term and liquid projects. In many cases, think of a corporation like GE, okay? It has thousands of branches, different businesses. You know, if the field office in Minnesota wants to spend $1 million to improve something, there's no reason headquarters should be involved on that, right? You know, we're talking about GE. It's almost $1 trillion company. So that's $1 million is a non-issue for headquarters. It costs way too much for the headquarters to be involved. But you want to be able to give these guys rules. And in payback period rule is simple. PB rule. If PB is less than the cutoff, this is firm determined, accept, otherwise reject. GE could say, for any project less than $5 million, if you guys can get our money back in 2 years, we can go ahead. You know, stuff with short paybacks typically are easier to audit. You know, if cutoff is 5 years, you can actually pad the, some of the numbers, and you can still show that you get paid back in 5 years, but the quality of forecast in outer years is not going to be as good. So for small, liquid, and short-term projects, payback is used quite a bit. And on a corporate governance viewpoint, it's probably better than using something like MPV. In that case, using something like MPV would be, using a 50 cal machine gun to kill a rabbit. Okay, it gets the job done, but it also creates a mess. Good old 22 or 12 gauge would be just fine, or a little birdshot maybe, or even a little arrow. Obviously, if projects are mutually exclusive, accept the project with shortest PB, provided it's less than the cutoff. And we could actually put a little parameter in our template. Let's call this payback cutoff. I'll put 3 for now. Where are you? And I'm going to actually put a traffic light here. Conditional formatting. Manage rules. Oh, not managing rules yet. Don't have a rule yet to manage. Icon sets. I like these. Now I'm going to manage the rule. I'm going to do it based on a formula. If the value of the payback is less than the payback cutoff, or greater than the payback cutoff, plus 1/12, I'm gonna reverse the icon order. Okay. If payback period is 3 years, greater than 3 years and 1 month, I'm gonna do a red light. Otherwise, if it's 3 years minus 1 month, I'm gonna do a yellow light. Otherwise, green light. This shouldn't have worked. Oh, apply. Okay. Again, if it's within plus or minus 1 month of the cutoff, I'm going to make that yellow light. Outside of that, if it's greater, red, for example, let's make this, let's see, 16,000. It's too much, hence it's red light. Let's make that 19,000. It's still within 1 month. 20,000. Yeah. Now it's green light, right? Again, it visually tells me that I should accept the project. Yellow light simply means, it's iffy. Now, there is one thing with payback period that we can do something about. It's the fact that it doesn't take what you want to call time value of the money into account. let me actually shift these things down here. So let's call this regular, and this is extra crispy discounted. We're gonna calculate something called discounted payback. You probably guessed it. Discounted payback period is the payback period calculated using the present value of cash flows. So on a today's dollar basis, how long does it take for us to recover our investment? The idea is the same. We're just going to use different ones. That's why I calculated the running PV here. Let me copy these and paste them. Now, I'm gonna similarly, let me copy the formulas. Actually, let's do it directly. Conditional formatting, highlights rules, more rules, formula. If and previous one is negative, and current one is greater than or equal to 0. If that's the case, I'm gonna make the fill. Let's use a different shade of green. I don't think I did that correctly. Let's do it again. If it should be F6. If the previous PV is negative and current PV is greater than or equal to 0. And these are also relative references. Yeah, just in case. As you can see, on a discounted basis, payback actually happens later. Why? Because later monies are not worth as much. Let's make sure that these refer to the same. Instead of looking in the CF, I'm gonna look in B2F. And I'm gonna get the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one. So in this case, yeah, that's 3. This is 2. That's 3.